The Jeep Wrangler pickup truck has been a huge success for the company since it came out back in 2019, and for 2024, it gets the same series of updates as its Wrangler cousin. I'm at the 2023 Detroit International Auto Show, and this right here is the brand new 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Let's take a first look. So I may have said all new, but really what the 2024 Gladiator is a mild refresh. As you guys know, the Jeep Wrangler got a refresh for 2024, so it's no surprise to me that the Gladiator would also get the same updates. You can see it has the new corporate face of the Wrangler and the Gladiator. The signature 7-slot grille on this vehicle has been tweaked where it has a little bit more actual air intakes. There's a black portion of the grille that kind of extends into the headlight assembly. If you guys are looking for LED headlights, it's going to be standard on the, I believe, the Willys trim and up. You can still get a Gladiator with halogen headlights, but this model here is the Mojave X, which is technically a new trim level. This is kind of like the Desert Runner equivalent of the Gladiator. You can see it includes the steel bumper group, along with the red anodized tow hooks. You can see it also has LED fog lights, LED headlights, LED low and high beams, LED daytime running lights. You have the trail cam here, which is also optional on other trims, but I believe it's standard on this trim. And then the Mojave also includes this unique hood that has some functional and non-functional openings. This is actually not a functional opening, but it does make this truck look a lot more aggressive. I also love it in this hydro blue exterior color with the red accents, the Mojave badging. But overall, let me know what you guys think of the styling changes. Just like the Wrangler, it is a very subtle evolutionary change, but I think that a lot of people are going to appreciate the changes later on. Now, this model here you can see in this bright yellow exterior color is the Rubicon trim, which is technically carried over. The Rubicon is the more off-road oriented trim as opposed to the Desert Trail Runner or trim of the Mojave trim. You can see it also includes the steel bumper group, which is optional. It has the same different updated 7-slot grille with the body colored fenders, which is technically optional. I also love the non-painted areas here. This is, again, a very aggressive looking truck, and it's been a huge success for Jeep ever since it came out, with the company saying they've moved almost 80,000 units back in 2022. Now over here you can see this is the lower end trim. This is the Willys trim. This is the trim you're going to want if you guys at least want to go for the LED headlights as standard. You can see it has a new bumper. This is actually a bumper by AEV. You should be able to get the same kind of accessories as the Wrangler, like the worn winch, the steel bumper group, along with the additional skid plate protection underneath. This is the trim, again, that's the more affordable version of the Gladiator. And then finally over here, you can see this is the Rubicon X. Now, I can't actually open this one here. This is painted in Sarge green, but the X trim level essentially combines the luxury features of the Sahara trim with the off-road goodies, and along with upgraded suspension, upgraded tires. But let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain for the Gladiator. And this is where it has the biggest distinction between the Wrangler. And the fact that the Gladiator only comes with one powertrain option for this vehicle. It also, instead of the 4 different engines that you get for the Wrangler, Jeep only offers the Gladiator with one powertrain. This is the company's signature 3.6 liter Pentastar double overhead cam V6. It actually has port injection. It still makes the same 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. It's still offered with a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic transmission. Again, rear or 4-wheel drive, full-time or part-time 4-wheel drive with locking diffs, sway bar disconnect. That's all available, of course, depending on the trim level. I am surprised to see that Jeep is not offering the 2-liter turbo, the 4xe powertrain, or the Rubicon 392. I think any of those engines would be a worthy upcharge, especially for the V8, but I'm assuming that perhaps it's parts shortages and whatnot. But let me know in the comments below if you guys really want Jeep to offer the turbo 4-cylinder or the 4xe powertrain in the Gladiator as well. So this is the angle of the Gladiator where you can see a clear distinction because the front fascia looks identical to the Wrangler. But as you can see here, all Gladiators come as a crew cab, 4 full-size doors. There's no shorter bed, there's no longer bed, there's no half doors, for example. And the bed is a little over 5 feet long, which is usable, but not quite as usable as the 6-foot bed you can find on some of the more traditional midsize pickup trucks. You can see the wheels, they're also been updated. This is back to the Mojave X trim level, and you can see it has a new 5-spoke design for the wheels. These knobby all-terrain Falcon Wild Peak tires also look great. These are a 33-inch tall tire. Jeep will also still allow you to go up to a 35-inch tall tire if you guys choose to do so. And then overall, you can see the rear design looks pretty much the same as the pre-refreshed Gladiator. You still have the available full LED taillight design. You have the Jeep badge here, which has a little bit of the orange-reddish accents in between, along with the orange-reddish tow hooks, because remember, this is the Mojave trim. And then in terms of the payload capacity, first of all, Jeep says this truck has best-in-class payload and best-in-class towing at a maximum of 7,700 pounds. That's about 200 pounds heavier than, again, something like the new Ford Ranger. And then the bed, Jeep says, will carry a maximum of just just over 1,700 pounds in the bed, which is actually a pretty good amount. You can see this model here has the spray-in bed liner. You also have the tonneau cover here. This is the soft folding tonneau cover. It's certainly a usable bed, although it doesn't seem quite as deep as the competitive set. You can see in terms of power outlets, there is a little plug over here. It's just a standard 400 watt 150 AC power outlet. There's some LED lighting. So if you guys are looking for a little bit more in terms of like onboard generators and whatnot, that's where the Gladiator doesn't offer that. Jeep technically offers that on the Wrangler 4xe, but again, that's something that I really wish Jeep would offer, and that's the 4xe powertrain, but for some reason, we still can't get that on the new Gladiator. So moving on to the interior of the 2024 Gladiator, you can see the exterior didn't have too many in terms of changes. However, the inside is where Jeep really made some upgrades. Now, if you guys have seen our review on the 2024 Wrangler, this is going to look pretty familiar because essentially all Gladiators come standard with the 12.3-inch Uconnect 5 head unit. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the key for the vehicle and I can't actually get the screen to turn on, but all of them come standard with Uconnect 5, which means it includes wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It has over-the-air updates. You still have the same instrument panel here, which has like a 7-inch center LCD screen with traditional analog dials. The rest of the interior is pretty much standard Jeep Wrangler Gladiator stuff. The door panel here on this upper trim is a soft touch injection molded plastic. It's going to be hard touch plastic on the Willys trim. You can see it's got some padded leather over here. The seats also have been nicely upgraded. You can see this is the Mojave X, so it has the upgraded Napa leather seats. The seats are also heated, but sadly Jeep doesn't offer ventilated seats. But what they do offer now is a 12-way power adjustment for the front seats. That's again a Jeep Gladiator first, taken directly from the Wrangler. It also has side curtain airbags for the first time. So now we have side and curtain airbags actually into the pillars here that additionally improve the safety tech in this car. And then the rest of the dash here looks pretty much the same, although it was updated and tweaked to allow fitment of this 12.3-inch display. The dashboard vents have been moved over here. You still get dual zone climate control. You have actual hard buttons here for your heated seats, heated steering wheel, big knobs for your volume control and for your climate control. Your window controls are still over here in the center. This model here you can see has the axle locker, the sway bar disconnect, which this one doesn't have. You have to get on the Rubicon, but it does have the off-road plus mode. You have the auxiliary modes here. Your USB ports are right there, a USB-A, a USB-C. This controls the 8-speed automatic along with the actual mechanical shifter there for the four-wheel drive system, which is pretty nice. In terms of visibility and whatnot and the feeling of space, this is pretty similar to a Wrangler. It's essentially the same width. You have the removable panels here on this particular one because it has the hard top. I don't believe Jeep offers the Power One Touch Sky Roof. I wish that's something that they would offer on the Gladiator as well, but I didn't see it in the options list for this 2024 refresh model. But overall, I really like the way the seats are, and the tech upgrade was a huge thing. And also another thing I forgot to mention on the outside, it has the stealth antenna. So instead of that mask antenna that's metal that's flopping around, it's actually integrated here into the windshield along with all the usual safety tech. This truck also offers things like adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, all that stuff that you expect kind of in a modern truck. But let's go ahead and hop into the back seat of the Gladiator. And this is where the fact that it only is offered with 4 full-size doors really comes into play, because this essentially has the same legroom at around 38 inches compared to the Wrangler. The seats also do the ability to kind of fold upward if you'd like. There's a little bit of, looks like underfloor storage here, which is actually lockable, which is a nice little touch over there. For those of you who want to hide some more valuable items, the seats also, they have the same high-quality Napa leather. I also love this kind of greenish gray color for the interior, which is definitely nice. You can see once I'm back here, the legroom here is pretty good for somebody my height. I'm 5'7". Materials quality back here is actually still soft touch materials, which is nice. Padded over here where you'd rest your elbows. And then over here you can see there is an armrest that folds down, gives you 2 cup holders. It's actually pretty comfortable if you guys need to have 2 adults here. You could fit 3 across. However, you can see there is the cup holders taking up space. There's a little bit of a hump here. You can see there are rear seat air vents. Your window controls are here. You also have USB and an actual power outlet. No heated seats back here, but you do have some storage cubbies as well. So overall, if you guys are considering a Wrangler, for example, you need to use the back seat for a family vehicle, but you need a truck. The Gladiator essentially has the same kind of back seat space as a Wrangler. So with nearly 80,000 units sold in 2022, clearly the Gladiator has been a huge sales success for the Jeep brand. And for those of you who want a Wrangler, but you need the capability and practicality of a pickup bed, this is where the Gladiator comes into play. And the segment for mid-sized trucks is really heating up. Obviously, we saw a new version of the Frontier almost 2 years ago. We saw new versions of the Canyon in Colorado. There's a new Ranger, a new Tacoma. And the Jeep has always been more of a lifestyle-oriented truck. And the changes that they've made for 2024 have definitely kept this vehicle competitive. competitive. I love the fact that the 12.3-inch display with Uconnect 5 is now standard. The old Uconnect 4 system was definitely fine, but it was lacking wireless CarPlay, didn't have over-the-air updates, so I like the updates they made that there. In terms of the exterior styling, it doesn't really look all that different. For those of you who are complaining about the grille being too different, that's because you're probably too used to it. I'm sure once you see more of these on the road, a lot of you will probably end up getting used to the design. The interior got some nice upgraded tech features from the upgraded leather, the power seats, the additional safety tech, like the adaptive cruise control and the side curtain airbags. That's all a plus, but really I find that Jeep missed an opportunity here to add some features from the Wrangler that are very popular, like the one-touch sky roof, the 4xe powertrain, the V8 powertrain. I understand how the V8 probably wouldn't be available because that is a dying breed of engine, although it would have been awesome to see one, but I would have really liked to see a plug-in hybrid version of the Gladiator. I think there's room for it in the segment. In terms of capability, up to 7,700 pounds of towing is certainly a bragging right, along with the payload capacity. And really, if you guys are looking for a lifestyle truck that offers the convertible aspect, the Gladiator is really in a class of its own, and that's what makes this truck super special. And I have no doubt the changes for 2024 have made it more appealing, just as long as you guys don't need to actually go for the plug-in hybrid or hybrid capability or a V8, because that's where the Gladiator still doesn't offer that. But again, Jeep has the Wrangler if you are looking for those kind of options. Well, all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video for Redline Reviews here at the 2023 Detroit International Auto Show. Oh, I'm SoCon Bay. You okay, Ron?